Hi guys, Craig from Camping NQ again, and today we're going to have a look at my fire kit because I wanted to go through it anyway, so I thought why not, let's have a look at it. This is what I take out bush. It's just a cheap decor plastic container. It's not overly large, it's not too small either, I mean, you know, but it carries everything I want. So let's have a look what we've got in here, and then we'll have a look at some tinders, and then we might go and get Shirley out and use some of it. Okay, lid comes off. What do I carry in here? Well, obviously a fire steel. That is a Gobspark fire steel. Right. Striker, very large to hold on to. Hold on to that one there. You can even hold on to this with gloves, anything you have to, and then you strike away on him. Okay, I got this from firesteel.com back when they were shipping overseas, which once again they are not, so I won't even bother to put the link in, but it's firesteel.com. You may even be able to see it on there, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's my fire steel, that's my main tool. Alright, now I also carry, because you've always got to carry more than one method of starting a fire, this is from an Australian Army ration pack. It's a waterproof match container. Plenty of matches in here, including some of the really long ones. On the side here, that is the striker, and let me see if I can show you this. There we go. We've got plenty of these. It works fine. Okay? No worries there at all. Clips on nice and firmly. Right? So there we go. Okay. Now, what else do I carry in here? Obviously, chemical fire, part A and part B. I did a whole video on that, and that's the two of them there in their relative bison tubes. In plastic bags as well, nothing's leaked of course. Okay, now, let's see what else we've got in here. Lighter. This is supposed to be a storm-proof lighter. Well, every now and again it plays up a bit if I haven't used it for a while. Right, that's actually lit. Right, locks on, a little latch thing there. I found this to be really good. It's a silver Helios. Will that focus? There we go. Alright, so that gives me 1, 2, 3 methods of starting a fire. What else have we got in here? Now, tinders. I carry a bit of, well, it's like it's jute, okay? It's sisal actually, but same sort of stuff. A little bit here, you would pull it apart, rub it out into a nice nest, and then the fire steel does work with it. I've tried it several times, it works okay. I would only do this if I had to. Alright, carry a couple of wet fire, okay, wet fire from Ultimate Survival. Just make sure that bag is still inflated. The trouble with this stuff, it's fantastic, it'll light when it's floating on water. The trouble is if the bag gets hold or pops in any way, then after a couple of months it will stop working. It just will not take a spark. So I bought it, I got like 6 in a packet or something like that, and I gave Snowy a couple, and I got a couple in here. Okay, I also have, this come together, some Tinder Quicks. This is some sort of impregnated cotton, they work very well. Okay, with that I got a little striker. Let's raise it that way. Alright, think of it like a Zippo type flint in there. I don't think it's even replaceable, but it would last for a long time. Alright, just like that. And that will work with those, it will work with many things. I carry in here, right now I've got 7 in there, cotton wool balls. These are not impregnated with Vaseline at all. And these work well. This is what I usually use as tinder to start a fire out bush. Okay, that's all you need. This little container, alright, that has cotton wool impregnated with Vaseline, so it's kind of sticky, and they're rammed in there. I don't know, there's about 8 or 10 of them in there, something like that. I halved them because half of one of those is all you need. Take one out, fluff her up, and strike it, and away you go. It burns for quite some time. It's just messy as hell to make up because you get Vaseline all over you. I also carry a couple of tampons. Okay, they've got their own plastic wrapping. I have no idea what size these are, but these are not cheap to buy. Alright, so I carry 2 of those. A lot of my knife sheaths have a tampon in just like that, along with a fire steel. You open them up, fluff them right up, they work really well. Oops, dropped one. There we go. Okay. That is the fire kit I carry out bush. That in the bottom of it, that's just a piece of leather. That was in case I wanted to use it for, I don't know, shaving down a dead stick or something like that for natural tinder, but it's in there anyway, so that's what I keep in there. Okay, so let me put all this back together and then we'll have a look what else I've got. Okay, so that's all packed away. I've kept the Gobspark out. We're going to have a look at that later. Also from firesteel.com, I bought one of these, which I think was called like the Bunker fire tube, which I used to carry at bush, but it's a bit bulky, frankly. He does not do these on firesteel.com anymore. Okay, he had various different sizes. This was the biggest. This thing's fantastic. It's now in my bug out bag because it's all in one. I'll show you. It's O-ring sealed. O-ring, okay, see that? That is, I don't know, what's that, about 4 inches long. That's 1/2 inch diameter. This thing throws some sparks. It's aluminium, so the little compass in the end there is pretty cool. But, okay, I'll screw that back in. It came with a paracord lanyard and it came with the black paracord wrapped on it. This end is interesting because, unscrew that. There's your striker. This is highly effective. Those edges are really sharp, and if you can see in there, if that's going to focus, perhaps not, in there is an actual Vaseline impregnated cotton bullet ball, or about half of one I think actually. So all in one, this would start a fire on its own. Wouldn't need anything else. Okay, put that in the bug out bag later. What is useful for tinder, however, because you don't want to necessarily pay for stuff. Costs add up, and there's more important things to buy like knives. So, tampons very handy. 2 left in that packet. Not cheap, and generally you have to buy 2 packs together, which doubles the cost. This is a regular size for medium flow. There you go, just so you know, in case there's anyone that's curious. Will that focus? Not really. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's what I bought, and that gives you that size. Okay. What is very useful, and it's essentially free, is this stuff. That is dryer lint, and it works brilliantly and costs nothing. All different things in there depending on what was being dried at the time. All you got to do when you're cleaning your filter out, start saving it. I put in this little plastic container here. This is now full, and I've stopped saving it because I've got so much of it. No, there isn't any in the fire kit there because I've got a heap of cotton wool balls, dirt cheap, so what the hell. But this stuff is basically free, and it will something with a motorbike. What you can also use, and I've done this many times at home, but I've never done it out bush because, well, usually we're having a good time and you don't want to spend the time. Get yourself a piece of dead stick, get the edge of your knife, like this, and scrape it off. And keep scraping until you've got a nice pile, and that will take a spark. If you're going to do that, make sure that you have a nice pile of like dead leaves. I usually crunch them up a bit, or even better, some dead grass. Up here in North Queensland, that's usually not a problem. Cut yourself some dead grass or rip it up, Make sure it's not dirty or anything. You don't want to drop dirt all over your little flame, because this will not go for long. So I get the grass and basically I give it a bit of a work, and once the flame goes, I just put the dead grass on it. Get yourself a grass torch, put that down, all your little twigs, and away you go. That will give you a fire, but you've got to work at it. Okay, and you've got to have, out bush, you've got to have something to scrape it onto. So anyway, but like I said, I've done it around the house, never done it out bush. Maybe I will. Something like this you could actually make a one stick fire out of. I have done it once. It wasn't overly flash, but it did work for a little while. I'll do that one day, but okay, so now let's get Shirley out of the shed and let's have a go with some of these things. Alright, we're back again. Got some gear here we're going to try. It's breezy, really strong breezy on and off. So the first thing I've done is I've shaved some bark off that little stick, and we'll see if this will work. I do not have high hopes for it. I've had half of it blow away in the wind, but anyway, let's see what we can do. It's just too breezy. Normally I'd have a nice pile of this. I'd put the fire steel right in the middle, and I would work it. No, I'm sorry, it's not going to work today. There's smoke coming off it, but no, I don't have high hopes for that, sorry. That's a bit disappointing. But oh well. And that's one of the reasons I carry cotton wool out bush. Yeah, it's disappointing. We'll ignore that. Okay. That is some of that. Sorry, that's some of that sisal. A nest of sisal. Hope this doesn't roll away. What we'll do. Normally I wouldn't use the tray, of course. Zoom in a bit better. At least this stuff here is all sort of matted together, so it's not going to get knocked away. Here we go. And there we go. Not hard at all. Okay? It's burning for plenty of time to then put your, like I said, your grass, your dead leaves or whatever you want on there, and continue on with your fire. Alright, it's okay. Okay. Now, cotton wool. And you get this, if you don't know, you want to fluff it out. You get a bag of cotton wool balls dirt cheap. Same as before, one strike and up she goes. Okay, very simple. Okay, again, that's lasting for plenty of time to get your fire lit. If you can't light a fire with that length of time, then you've got problems. Alright, that's done. Next thing is the free stuff. Let's take some of that. You don't even need that much, but now here's the dog, he loves fire lighting. For some reason. Again, fluff it up whatever you can. Might be more fluffed up. Best you can. You see there's some three in there and everything. And down. And up it goes. Okay? And off it goes. See what I mean about the breeze? That's still burning.
It burns highly efficiently, but at least you got to see that before it blew away. So anyway, it's that now. One of my spare half cotton wool ball and Vaselines. I just have a couple spare at home. Now Snowy and I did a test out bush on this stuff once. We actually submerged it in water for a while, took her out, shook her off, and lit a fire. It took a little while, took quite a few strikes, and it was sputtering the whole time, but it did work. There it goes now. This, if it doesn't blow away, burns quite some time. That's a long time. Again, very easy to start a fire, even if it's a little bit difficult. The breeze is not even blowing it out. And it's still going. The dog's fascinated by it. Still going. And it's gone. Handy stuff. But like I said, messy to do. What Vaseline off my gobspark. The only other thing is a tampon. And I thought because I talked about it, might as well give it a go. I'm useless at opening these things up. Sure, there's a way, but what we'll do is what I do out bush. Cut the bastard open. Okay, that's your plastic wrapper. See that there? Here. Then, I think that's the fuse. Anyway, you open the bugger up. These are actually made out of rayon, which I think comes from cotton anyway. But a brilliant thing to have in your knife sheath. Absolutely brilliant. We don't even need anywhere near all this, of course. You might dump that away there, we don't want that. Okay, see she's all fluffed up. It's not as fluffed up as it needs to be, but it's good enough. Right. Basically this is just like a cotton wool ball, except that it's more shower resistant. That's it, one little strike and up it goes. Very easy. If you completely fluff that out right now, there's a bit of a ball of it down there, because I mean, what the hell, it's the backyard, but if you really fluff that out the entire thing, it will last for quite a while. And you can spread it out over a large area. And I usually put something like this, or cotton wool ball, I usually put them underneath my grass or leaves or whatever with my little sticks on top, strike it, and it just takes care of itself. Alright, as you can see there's plenty of cotton wool left there. Another strike, away she goes. It's very easy to do, very handy things. Great for emergencies. And that's about it. Have I got anything else to show you? There's other things you can use. There's those alcohol wipes for when you have a cut, or if the doctor's going to give you an injection, they get those alcohol pads out and then they wipe the whole area. Well, if you ever have a look at Chris from Prepared Mind 101's channel, he shows you about using those as a fire starter. I've done it and they work quite well. Right, because it's saturated in alcohol, so they work very, very well. Just one strike, up they go, piece of cake. You can even take those out of your first aid kit, because you should have some in your first aid kit out bush. And that's it, anyway, from me. Gobspark. Clips back together. Okay, one piece there. So I'll catch you guys next time when we look at something else.